for the 4th, 5th and 6th unit. So in this topic of the unit 6 parallel organization, we shall see the topics SI, SD, MI, MD, SIMD and SPMD and vectors. Okay, some of these in this particular topic, which are the different parallel organizations of the computers. So the multiple processor organizations can have these 4 types based on how is the uh, instruction stream and the data stream. Instruction stream refers to the instructions that are given to a particular processor, and data stream refers to the data which is made available to a particular processor. As you are already aware, we have seen the architecture of the MIPS processor, and always the processor in the state of executing the instruction, it is fetching the instructions which are part of the program, and these particular instructions, they are stored in the memory. So this particular memory, it can be same memory where the data can be stored, or it can be a separate memory. Depending on that, different types of architectures are there. So here the single instruction and single data stream, in this you have only one instruction stream and only one data stream, and this particular type of organization is typically a uniprocessor organization. So there is only one processor, and that particular processor is fetching the instructions, and it is reading the data from the memory, and depending on the instruction fetched, the operation is performed on that particular data. Whereas there can be another type of organization, that is single instruction, multiple data streams. So there can be more than one data streams, and the operation which is being, the instruction which is being fetched, so that will suggest some operation, and the same operation will be performed on the data which is coming from the multiple data streams. For example, you may be having number of arrays on which the same operation is to be performed. So in that case, the instruction will be same, and the first element may be you can say read from each of these array, and some operation will be done on that particular element. Okay, same operation, and again the second instruction will be read, and that second operation will be performed on the second data atom that is coming out at that particular data stream. Okay, for example, in case of the audio streams, you would like to perform similar operation on the same operation on the multiple audios. So in that case, in such cases, the single instruction multiple data stream kind of organization would be most suitable organization. Okay, whereas you can have the multiple instruction single data stream, though this suggests that on the single data multiple operations are to be done, but practically this particular processor has not been implemented because such operation is never required in the real life. So only for the purpose of uh, showing all the combinations of the instruction and the combination of the data streams, this particular multiple instruction single data stream kind type is being specified in the literature most of the time, but there is no popular MISD type of computer so far. The multiple instruction, multiple data streams. So this type of computers are also very popular. These refers to the multi-computers. Uh, they are they do not share the memory, and they form the part of the clusters, or they may be the computers uh, in some local area network, or even sometimes the wide area network, which work together and they form a system called a distributed system most of the time. Okay, so we shall see all these particular organization one by one. So single instruction single data stream, SISD, it is a uniprocessor or single processor. The single instruction stream is there for this that particular processor. The processor fetches one instruction at a time, and data is stored in a single memory, uh, and in this case the data and the instruction may be the memory may be used in a shared fashion for storing the data as well as the instruction, or it may be different, uh, but essentially there is only one data stream and there is only one instruction stream. Okay, so you need only one uniprocessor. So in fact there is no parallel organization, we can say, as far as the processor is concerned. Only the thing is that if you are using uh, separate memory, program memory and data memory, in that case simultaneously read operation can be performed on the instructions as well as data. So simultaneously data and instructions can be read. Okay, so usually when we are talking of the streams, then in that case the instruction stream and the data stream is different. Okay, so the parallelism to that particular extent is only possible in this SISD. Okay, but as far as actual processing of the execution of the instruction is concerned, because it is essentially a uniprocessor system, so there is no parallel operation at the processor level. Only one instruction executes at a time, though the execution of one instruction may overlap the execution of the other instruction, which we have seen already in case of the MIPS processor, in which more than one instructions they are being executed, and they are at the different uh, they are executed simultaneously, and that is called the instruction level parallelism. Okay, but here in this we are interested the parallel organization at the processor level. Okay, so the second type is the single instruction multiple data stream, that is popularly called SIMD. Such processors usually they are called the vectors, okay, or the vector processors. So there is a single machine instruction. It controls the simultaneous execution So number of processing elements are there in such organization. Then it is on the lock step basis. Each processing element has associated with the data memory. So there is a separate data memory, or you can say separate data stream for each of the processing element. Each instruction executed on the different set of the data by different processor. So the processing element for the different data, they are different, and simultaneous execution is there for each with respect to each of the data. So such organization, as already termed, it is vector organization, or it is also referred as vector processors, or the array processors. Okay. Then multiple instruction, single data stream. So it is the sequence of data, single sequence. It is transmitted to set of processor. Each processor executes different instruction on that particular sequence. So it is expected that here again the number of processing elements are there, and those particular processing elements will work on a single data, and they will perform different operation on the same data. But such application is not required usually in the real world. So this type of organization of the multiple processors is never been implemented. Okay. Then multiple instruction, multiple data stream. So again here there is a set of processors, and these simultaneously execute different instruction sequences. So multiple programs are there for the multiple processors, and for each of them there will be different data streams. So each processor will be provided with the different data sets, you can say, and each one works with that. Okay. So the examples of this are the simultaneous multiprocessors, or the clusters, and the NUMA systems, that is non-uniform memory access systems. So this refers to the multiple instruction, multiple data stream kind of the organization. Okay. If we look into the taxonomy or classification, the standard classification of the parallel processor architectures, then this particular diagram you can keep in mind, or you can refer. This is the classification done by William Stallings, and this particular classification is true when we refer to the different parallel processor architectures. In the different literatures, there may be little variation in the name that is being referred for that particular organization, or the name that is given may be uh, something, or it will vary by slightly as the names that are used in this particular classification. Okay. So the parallel organization just now we have discussed may refer to the four broad classification in the, that is SISD, SIMD, MISD, and MIMD. Of that we have seen that MISD does not exist. Okay. Whereas this remaining three, they have got applications. SISD being uniprocessor, traditional, and the simplest one. So that is why it is being in use. Whereas SIMD, so it is a vector processor or the array processor. So they find application in processing the large images or large arrays or scientific data, huge data of the similar kind, where the same operation is to be performed on the different parts of the data, and in that case the vector processors and array processors are very much useful. Whereas in the third category, MIMD, you can have either the shared memory processors, which are also referred as tightly coupled multiprocessors. Okay, so here Stalling has used all possible names for the parallel organization. So somewhere these processors are referred to as shared memory processors, or they are also referred as the tightly coupled multiprocessing system. Whereas the other type in MIMD is the distributed memory or loosely coupled. So the major difference between the shared memory and the distributed memory is that the this type of shared memory, they are tightly coupled and they are sharing the memory, and the memory can be used for passing the messages between the processor. So the mode of communication is through the shared memory. So that is why the communication is very fast in this particular shared memory type of processors. But because these are tightly coupled, so physically they are very close to each other. This particular shared memory processors, they are on same board or very nearby board if the connections are made between the boards. So they are very close, they are in vicinity to each other. So that is the kind of the organization, that is the shared memory organization. Whereas in the case of distributed memory, each processor has got its own private memory, and the communication between the processor is through the passing of messages. Okay, so that is also in some literature referred as message passing multiprocessor architecture. Okay, so they are loosely coupled in the sense that for their communication, they are because they are away from each other, they can be away from each other. Okay, so sometimes they may be far away from each other, and it is through the network through which they communicate with each other. Okay, so that is the distributed memory. Okay, so you can say that for each of the processor there is a private memory, and that is why the memory, you consider that particular system, the processors, as a single system, and that is why the processor as well as the memory in that particular system is distributed. So the name distributed memory, and the kind of application that are executed on those processor is also a distributed application. Okay, though the distributed application can be run on the tightly coupled systems also. Okay, the shared memory again can be divided into two different types, that is symmetric multiprocessors, SMP. It is also referred to as UMA, that is Uniform Memory Access, UMA, whereas the other kind is non-uniform memory access, that is NUMA. Okay, so the tightly coupled processors, they may be connected in such a way that you have the memory connected and the processors connected to each other, and they may be connected in such a way that the access time for a particular processor to access any memory in that particular organization, it may be same. If the access is same, then it is called the symmetric multiprocessor. Whereas if the memory access is different, then in that case it is called NUMA, that is non-uniform memory access. Okay, so depending on the memory access, how memory is connected, how close memory is to a particular processor. If the memory is connected in a uniform manner, based on that, the two types up there of the shared memory. Okay, though both the types, they are tightly coupled. Okay, and the memory and all the processors, they are in close vicinity to each other in case of this shared memory. Whereas in the distributed memory, you can have the clusters, or essentially this kind of organization. It is referred to as multiple computer organization, multi-computer organization, where the multi-computers, they form a single system. Many times this is also referred to as a distributed system. Sometimes if the multi-computers, if they are of the same configuration and they are connected in uniform fashion, then it is referred to as homogeneous multi-computer system. You might have heard about the supercomputers, and these particular supercomputers nowadays, they are made up of a group of computers which are similar to each other. For example, at CDAC Pune, you might have heard the name, that is Param, and that uses the same type of organization. Multiple computers, they are connected to each other, and they form a single uh, system. Okay, so Param is the first supercomputer which is developed in India, and it is at CDAC Pune. So like that, you can have the multi-computer systems, or you can have the clusters. So that is nothing but the group of computers which does certain work. So you can assign the work to these particular clusters, and they replace the high-end servers. So if you use a single server when your computation is when high computing is required, so in that case, if we are using the costly servers, then in that case the cost increases. Whereas if we use multiple computers to form to form a system, you form a cluster, then that particular cost of that forming the cluster may be less than that of the high computation servers. Okay, so supercomputers nowadays, they are formed with this particular distributed memory kind of the parallel processor organization. Okay, so this is the classification uh, of the parallel organizations. Uh, Now let us see the MIMD overview. Okay, and we shall go to the tightly coupled systems. The difference between the tightly this particular thing, MIMD, that is tightly coupled and loosely coupled systems. Okay, so the general purpose processor, that is they are being used in this MIMD, that is uniprocessors. Each node can be uniprocessor, or it can be multiprocessors like uh, uh, UMA or NUMA kind of system. Each can process all instruction necessary, further classified by the methods of processor communication. Okay, so in the tightly coupled system, the processors share the memory. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the tightly coupled system. So, or symmetric multiprocessors, or the other name is the UMA, that is uniform memory access. They communicate via shared memory. They use symmetric multiprocessors. They share single memory or pool. Then shared bus to access the memory. So there is a single bus to access the memory. That is why the memory access is uniform to access any memory, and memory access to given area of the memory is approximately the same for each of the processor. Okay, so in the tightly coupled processor, they have the shared memory, though each of the processor may have a private memory, and that is termed as the cache for that particular processor. So as long as the particular processor is having the enough number of instructions and data in their cache, as long as they do not need the public memory, you can say public memory in the sense the memory which is being shared by all the processors. So they do not use the shared bus, but when they are exhausted with their own cache, then in that case what they do is that they fetch the blocks of the data or the instructions which they need from the shared memory into their cache, and they continue to work on it. Okay, so caching is extensively used. If the cache is not used, what will happen? Here, each processor need to work. We need to wait for the others. Then the tightly coupled in the tightly coupled, the other form is the NUMA, that is non-uniform memory access. So in this case, the access time is different for the different regions of the memory. Okay, so you have these two different types. These NUMA processors also, like the tightly coupled, they communicate via shared memory. Okay, and they share the memory, though the access time may be different. So there are many similarities, or almost all similarities, between these NUMA and UMA or SMA. Only difference is that the in the tightly coupled NUMA, the access time is different for maybe different for the different memory for the processors. Okay, whereas if we look into the loosely coupled clusters or systems, so it may be a collection of independent uniprocessors or SMPs, that is symmetric multiprocessors. They are interconnected to form a particular cluster, and the communication is via fixed path or the network connection, and they communicate by passing the messages. Okay, so our internet is the way through which many times they connect with each other, or there can be a private network, there can be a LAN, there can be a private network between these particular computers, okay, or these particular processors which have their independent memory. Okay, so such organization is the loosely coupled organization. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the loosely coupled organization. Okay, graphically showing all these particular types of organization: parallel organization, that is SISD. So single instruction stream. IS stands for instruction stream. This is the control unit. So control unit processes the instruction and it is given to processing unit. Then here is the memory unit, from where the data is being fetched. Okay, so this is the data stream, and the processing unit receives the instructions, that is from one instruction stream and one data stream. So this is the graphical organization, SISD. Then this one is the SIMD, shown graphically. uh, this graphical representation, though it is not there in the book of Patterson, so when you are going from the book of Stallings to the book of Patterson, then little variations are there. So I suggest to read first the book of Stalling, and later on you go on to the book of the Patterson, I shall be sharing you the slides where the current slides, they are from the book of Stallings, and later on I will share with you or upload on the LMS the slides that are from the book of Patterson, where you have certain practical examples, numericals associated with the parallel organization. Okay, so this is MISD, single instruction stream is there. So the control unit is going to process it, and the single instruction stream, the decoded instructions, they are given. So all those instructions, they are copied onto the to this particular processing elements. So there are n number of processing elements, PE1, PE2 up to PEN. There are many memories here, M1, M2 up to Mn. That is, they are local memory 1, local memory 2 up to local memory n, and each of them, they generate a stream, data stream. So for each of the processor, a separate data stream is there. So that is why we have here the multiple data stream. So but though the single instruction stream is there, so the single operation is being performed on this particular all this particular data streams. Okay, so the name single instruction multiple data stream. So this is that particular organization, whereas this is the MIMD, that is the organization which shares the memory, which you can call it as the tightly coupled system. So here you have this particular control unit, control unit 1 generating one instruction stream, control unit 2 generating the second instruction stream. So you have n number of control unit which are generating the instruction streams. The actual processing elements will be performing these operations on the data streams. So this particular data streams and the instruction streams, they are different. So for each of the instruction stream, there will be a separate data stream. This something refers to, that is, part of your program can be divided into the number of fragments, and each of the fragment we can refer to as a thread. So we shall be learning about the multi-threading in the next session, but this is what is the multi threading being used. Okay, or how it can be used, so that you will come to know from this particular organization. Okay, so the memory is shared here, and it is a tightly coupled kind of organization. Okay, whereas this is the organization which is loosely coupled, that is MIMD, distributed memory. So in this case, you can see that the memory associated with the processing element is not shared. So it is different. So you can see here that the local memory 1, local memory 2 up to local memory n. So each generates a data stream, and of course there are number of processors. Part of it are the control units, and they generate the instruction stream, and you have a separate instruction stream for the corresponding data stream, and that particular processing element will process that particular instruction stream on this particular data stream. Okay, of course your CPU, central processing unit, will form, or it will be nothing but the combination of the control unit and the processing element. Okay, so that is how you might have confused with what is the CU and what is the CPU and what is this PE. Okay, so processing element is nothing but actually the unit which actually perform the operation on it. Okay, for example, your arithmetic and logic unit may be your processing element. Many times the operations performed are the arithmetic operations or the logical operations, but sometimes there are data transfer operations also, and these operations in turn they are also performed by this particular processing element. Okay, so here the point to be noted is that the each processing element has got its own private memory, local memory, and if any communication is to be done between this particular processing elements, then that has to be over this particular interconnection network. This can be LAN, local area network, or it can be a WAN. It can be the through the internet, this particular these things they are connected. Okay, so if they are in the LAN, most probably that will be a cluster. If there is a private network, then it may be homogeneous or it may be heterogeneous. If it is homogeneous, then it can be you may term it as some computer like the super. It may be for doing some supercomputer. Okay, and there will be a special operating system for this particular multi-computer system. Homogeneous multiple computer operating system may be there, that is called the distributed operating system. Okay, on to which the different task is given, and that operating system will divide that particular task among this particular processing elements. Okay, so this is MIMD. These are the features of the symmetric multiprocessors. So symmetric multiprocessor, they are the tightly coupled one, a standalone computer with the following characteristics: two or more similar processors of comparable capacity. Processors share same memory and I/O. Processors are connected by bus or other internal connection. Memory access is approximately the same for the processor. All memory share access to the I/O either through the same channels or different channels, giving paths to the same devices. Already we have discussed this particular characteristics. All processors can perform the same functions, hence symmetric. System controlled by integrated operating system. Okay, so there may be a distributed operating system for this, or multiprocessor operating system for this, providing interaction between the processors, interaction at job, task, or file and data element levels. Okay, so that is the characteristics. So so here we come to the end of this particular classification of the parallel organization. We have seen SISD, MIMD, SIMD, which is nothing but the vector, and it is MISD. So that processor we have seen. So we shall be for this you may refer to the book of William Stellings, or you may refer also to the book of D. Patterson. So we'll take a short break here, and we shall continue with the next session shortly. Any doubts on this particular part? And then